So for a background, I think it's really nice to leave these perfectly plain. They're like a little animal botanical painting if you like. But if you want to have some background in it, it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. So I'm just going to use really clean water and wet outside this little hair. So I'm using a Hare brush. You can use any brush you like, and just go up to the edge. This paper hasn't been wet before, so it's taking the paper the water really nicely. Just careful not to touch those ears. So I go to about 1/4 of an inch away from the rest with that. So I'm putting plenty of water on there, up from here. So I'm going to use, I could use the blue that I used in Azai, which was just a little touch of cobalt blue. You could use French ultramarine, some gorgeous granulating colours. In the Primatech range, one I love to use called Kyanite. And I indulged myself recently and I bought this lapis lazuli, which we know what lapis lazuli is, a stone. So I'll just put a little bit of that in my well, and I'm going to use a number 20 brush, so a big brush with a very loose amount of, not much blue on it, and it's a gorgeous faded out blue. Look at that. I'm just going to run down his ear there so that you can see his ear. Rinse off my brush and just do a little bit, just a suggestion of sky into a place like that. Give it a little tip. It doesn't need to be very much. Now I'm going to go down here in between those ears. And at this stage it's not tragic if you touch the ear. I'll just use a little fine brush to get down in here, because of where I've put the other blue, it really needs to continue there between the ears. So I'm just using a little fine brush to drop in a bit of blue there. And then on the back side, I'll just come in, I'm going over the little fluffy bits, because it doesn't really matter if you get them a little bit blue. And up and around the edges of that ear. And drop in a little bit more pigment there. So it's not very much, but it's just the difference between it feeling like the sky behind it and not. And you can use a grey or whatever you like. And then if you want to have something that represents a bit of green down the bottom, you can do that too. I haven't even got any green here. So what I could do is just mix a bit of goethite, a bit of lapis lazuli. It's not going to give me a green. Just a little bit of something. So here's a little bit of, it's another granulating one, Green Apatite Genuine. I'm just going to drop it in at the bottom here. You probably can't even see. Just bring a bit up here. And then with a brush with some clean water on it, touch it to the top so that it just disappears. And it's just a suggestion of green. You can mask leaves all over the rabbit if you want to. I've done hairs where they've got grass going in front of them, and you can certainly do that if you want to. We'll just do some kind of greeny suggestions. got the shaky hand thing going here. A little bit more over this side. And then you can just drop some water. Give it a little bit of a tilt. And just drop some water in. And then if you're keen, you can do some flicky bits just to pull it all in. Just as a suggestion. You just have to keep it pretty random. And that keeps the focus on your subject. Just run it down there. And if you want to pull it to the edges, use your finger. Just use the tip of your brush, that's a clean brush, just to tickle the edge into the little fairy bits, just so you don't end up with a white border around there. Here we go.